Cross stick forwards or backwards? It's a legit question. Do you want the front end facing away from you, or do you want the back end facing away from you? Don't ask about the twirl. I don't teach twirls. I'm not about to teach twirls. What's up, everybody? Mike Johnston here from Mike'sLessons.com. Hope you guys are all doing absolutely fantastic, and we're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about what is better, the front end or the tip of the stick facing away from you when you do your cross stick, or the back end, the butt of the stick facing away from you. I put that question up on Instagram about a week ago, and most of the responses were what I would expect, but there were a few that I was like, what? And it was people saying the back end, every time it's better. And I don't believe that at all. I don't think that there is a better or worse. I think that both are extremely different, and they are better or worse for different situations musically, and you have to work that out. Now, before we figure this stuff out, and before we get to the kit, I'm going to go get some tea. Woo! All right, now that I can concentrate, we're going to head over to the drum set, and we're going to not only figure out the difference between the cross stick being frontwards and backwards, but I also want to show you how to get, just in general, a great cross stick sound. So let's head to the drum set. Now, when I put up that post on Instagram, I saw quite a few comments of people saying things like, I don't have the time to go from a traditional cross stick to a normal snare hit. And I don't think you want to be thinking like that. You should always be thinking about what's going to give you the best sound possible for the situation you're in. And like I said, I don't believe that back end facing away from you is the best sound. It's just a sound option, and it sounds a lot different than the tip facing away from you. Not to mention, you could practice little half flips, or you could practice the half twirl thing to go from a regular hit into a cross stick. That takes a little bit of time, so you might want to think about slower songs on that one, like all right, now let's figure out how to get a good cross stick sound. So starting on the snare drum, we'll start with the butt end facing away from us. The big thing that you want to think about is your grip. Now, your grip is going to be between your thumb and your first finger. That's the only place that's gripping the stick. My back three fingers, the pinky finger, ring finger, and middle finger, are actually muting the head. Now, if I don't let them mute the head, if I grip the stick entirely and don't mute the head, you get a really ringy cross stick sound. But as soon as I take those back three fingers and mute the head with it, I get a much more clear and crisp staccato sound. Now, the other thing that you have to think about is, where is the stick in relationship to the rim? If I start with the tip touching the rim, really thin sounding. And as I move away, better, better, better. Ooh, sweet spot right there. And as I keep going, the pitch goes down. Lower, 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 higher, higher, higher. Sweet spot, cross stick, worse, worse, worse. Thin. So you have to find the sweet spot for every snare, and every snare drum has a sweet spot. So if I'm playing on someone else's kit and they have a 13-inch snare, where I normally play my cross stick, it's not going to work for that drum. So I'm going to have to play around with it for a while until I find that spot. Now, the sound difference between turning the stick around and having the butt end facing away, you still have to find the sweet spot, but when you find that sweet spot, it's going to be a thinner, more natural sound. So I'm going to play 4 bars of groove with the butt end facing away, then 4 bars of groove with the tip facing away, so you can hear the difference between the two. So you can hear that you get a great cross stick sound either way. It's just when the butt end is facing away from you, you get a little more clarity, and there's just a little more attack, a little more meat to it, and it sounds more like a sample. When the tip is facing away from you, it's a little more natural. So let's talk situationally. When do I want to play either or? Well, I just kind of described it. If I really want my cross stick to cut through, saying kind of like a low-key pop tune, I'm going to go with the butt end facing away from me.
Wanna take a different lane, wanna play my own game, and I don't need you here, so won't you let me go? Wanna take this ball and chain that
right, now maybe that went on a little longer than it was supposed to, past the cross stick time, but I was having fun. So, okay, now if I wanted something that was a little more natural sounding, where the cross stick blended into the groove a little bit more, something like maybe a 6/8 Afro-Cuban groove, then I would go with the tip facing away from me. That sounds good in that situation, and that's what I was talking about. It's situational. There are times that I do want the butt end facing away from me and I want a very sampled sound, but then there are times like that where I want a very percussive, natural, woody sound. So that's when I would use that. And every time I have a chance to do a cross stick, I am thinking, what would sound better for this situation? And I want you to think about the same thing. All right, hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you will mess around with your own cross stick and really experiment with getting a great cross stick sound, frontwards and backwards. If you like this stuff, please check out mikeslessons.com. I have tons more lessons just like this, and they're all in course format. So each lesson is graduating you into the next lesson, until you finish the course, and then you know you've really accomplished something. So check out mikeslessons.com and use the code YouTube when you're checking out, and that'll get you 2 free weeks just to make sure that my style of education fits you. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.